intoxicated, cruising down the road. Forward integrity. Forward integrity.
Is that the official mic check when you hit the crack the clean calls?
The mic check with clean calls.
Nice. Are we good? Are we good?
We're good. We're live at the Ideal Studio.
Nice. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Formerly Intoxicated Podcast. Today I am your host. My name's Erik Miller, and I am joined by the amazing. I don't even know what to call you now, dude. What do you want to go by today?
You know, depends on who I'm speaking to. The government calls me Matthew Barrett. So does my mother. So do all the brothers that I'm on this new path of just walking with God with. But as an artist, they call me Blake Mathews.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Nice. I'm going to call you Blake for today because
That's right.
That's how I know you and that's how I met you. Tell me a little bit about like where did that come from? How did that happen? I know it was like probably music related, how you kind of like developed some of that like character, right?
So if I'm honest, honesty's the best policy. Blake was a pseudonym that came to me, kind of like, you know, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, like these names that kind of have a cadence to them, if you will.
Okay.
When I was a younger teenager, everybody always used to mispronounce my name. My name is Matthew Barrett, and people would be like, Matthew Barats or Brats. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of this, dog. Like, I need something with a little bit of, like, smoothness to it.
Okay.
So I took my first name and made it my last name, and I took my last name and flipped it to the first. Like, the name's Bond, James Bond. The name's Matthew, Blake Mathews, you know, and it was, it's kind of smoothed things over for a while.
Nice. I think, I picked up right in the middle of your story almost. So for people that are maybe just tuning in for the first time, or people that don't really know your story, how did it start, man? How did the music adventure begin for you, or like where do you kind of think of like the starting point of this whole thing kicking off?
Yeah, well, you know, in the beginning, I was born and raised here in Phoenix, was adopted at birth, and was split from my sister, and adopted into a Jewish family that raised me, and bar mitzvahed at the age of 13,
Okay.
you know, on the ones and twos, had the DJ and all the family come together, and, you know, was raised like culturally Jewish. With core values, good morals, and a good home, you know. But there was still a part of me that just kind of yearned to know, like, who I was and where I came from. I always kind of felt like the odd one out, or like the black sheep. We'd be at Thanksgiving, and there would be like 100 people there, all of the extended blood family. And I'm like, man, like, where do I come from? You know, like, where's my family? But the flip side of that was, for me, family was always deeper than blood. You know, like I kind of made connections and made friends with people really quickly, and always tried to be very welcoming, because for me, that's how it always was. You know, I never had blood family growing up. And then in my early teens, I was introduced to both music and drugs, and it was a wild ride from there, from the age of like 13 to 26, just like chasing a dream, man. Like,
Did you just know like right away that you were talented, or did you have to like kind of like dig in and develop the skills that you have now?
I did not feel talented. Growing like as a kid, I felt dorky, and like I was just trying to fit in and find my way. You know, I was bullied as a kid and just wanted to belong, you know, and I think that's why I gravitated to drugs, because when I first smoked as an early teenager, it's like I kind of knew how to do it, and I was pretty good at it, you know. Like, it was pretty simple, and like as long as I either had money or was able to, like, you know, find a way to be a part of the crew, like it was something that brought us together. And so I really think I turned to drugs because that was the first thing I realized I was good at. Like, I didn't know myself, or I didn't know what kind of talent I really had. I was so young that I just like kind of gravitated towards that. But over time I found that natural inclination to DJing, and but it took time, I'd say, to find and develop and cultivate talent. Yeah.
I think that's a reoccurring theme that we've seen in a lot of the folks that we've talked to is just trying to fit in, trying to like learn how to be comfortable in their own skin. So thanks for sharing that with us. I appreciate that. And then, like, you started out DJing. Did you, like, how long did it take you to get into music production, songwriting, and all of that stuff?
Yeah, started as a DJ. I got my first pair of turntables at 13.
That's awesome.
From like 13 to 16 was just, you know, I was really focused on DJing. I started DJing like family events, and, you know, eventually got into DJing weddings, and I did a couple bar mitzvahs and things like that. But I remember this moment, I think I was around 15 or 16, when I had this paradigm shift that there were people writing and recording the music that I was playing. Like, no one ever told me, you know, that like songwriters were a thing. Like, no one sat me down and said, you know what, little Matthew, like songwriters exist, you know? Like, I kind of stumbled upon that idea that, wait a second, there are deeper levels to this thing that I'm doing. So I dove into, my first DAW was Reason, a digital audio workstation. It's like a hub for recording and producing music.
Yeah.
And started by producing like electronic dance music, like dubstep as a teenager. And then, you know, started writing about the things that I was experiencing as a kid, like trying to fit in and battling with having a hard time getting out of bed. And, you know, now I'm experimenting with, you know, drugs and things. So I'm just finding ways of expressing myself, you know, lyrically, while I'm learning the basics of how to produce music in my mid-teens as well.
Yeah, and I think just your skill set lends itself really well to like any kind of music that you really want to get into and record. I've spent a little bit of time with you in the studio, and I'm always like just amazed when you pick up an instrument, and I'm like, dude, you have amazing talent, you know, like it's really cool. I want to see more of that from you, more like, you know, of you playing guitar and playing piano and the crazy organ that you have and stuff.
Well, thank you for the encouragement. Yeah, my reason for doing it has changed a lot.
Yeah, talk about that. Like what shift has happened for you?
In my teens, I was gravitating towards music because it was interesting to me.
Okay.
Like, it was stimulating, and I was just exploring, you know. I didn't really have an idea of like what my message was, or like what really mattered to me. Like, I was kind of just like throwing it out there and expressing myself. Then over time, like as I moved into my you know, my late teens and early 20s, and moved to Nashville and started like getting some technical training as a songwriter and an engineer and things like that, it became more about the pursuit of a career, you know? Like, I really focused on branding and messaging and developing as an artist, and just presenting something, you know, to the world. It became about, how do I present something to the world? So I went from exploring to presenting. And now, after going to rehab, after like losing everything, just kind of realizing that none of it is worth anything if I don't have peace. You know, now the music and the art and really anything I do is just a means of growing closer in the relationship that I have with God and with others. You know, like, it's become a lot more about connection. Like if the podcast isn't a place where we can really connect and like grow closer together and to whatever we believe, like I don't want it, you know? If the album isn't going to help us grow like closer to something meaningful, I don't need it, you know? I'm learning to anchor in the things that really matter, you know, more so than just trying to like present something cool to the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that being said, where do you, and I've seen you in both scenarios, but where do you feel more comfortable, like on a stage or in the studio, or like, you know, playing to small groups, large crowds? Like what feels more in alignment with what you're talking about?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, you know, where I feel the most comfortable is like face down in my closet, in my prayer closet. Like just getting, like just cultivating, like calibrating my heart, honestly, because for so long I have just like gone out into the world and like just wung it, you know? And I hadn't taken the time to like come back to just like peace and prayer and meditation or whatever that personal practice looks like, you know? So that's like my place where I start, you know? I start on my hands and knees, and on the new album that's coming that I can't wait to share a little bit of with you guys. You kind of, you get that, you sense that like, okay, this is a new chapter where we're learning to put, you know, prayer and meditation and personal practice. And for you, like that might be at 4:30 in the morning, like you're on your way to the gym. Like, you know, it's like, what do you do when no one's watching type of thing? That's where I'm most comfortable. But yeah, I mean, rooms full of like a bunch of people or on a stage or even just one-on-one with someone, it doesn't make much of a difference to me. I'm trying to listen and just go wherever God is leading me to be. And I do really enjoy being on stage, but I think one of the reasons it's been hard to get me to do that is because I haven't had a message that I felt confident in preaching and speaking on yet. And now I'm finally arriving at that place where I know I at least have a glimmer of like what kind of message I want to deliver, you know?
Yeah, I think part of that too, at least from the events that I've been at, and I'm fortunate enough to be a part of, is that you're so humble in like presenting yourself on stage that you put yourself on the back burner to make sure that other artists that have come along like get their opportunity to shine first or get center stage first. I think that's part of what makes you an amazing person in the community and contributor to the community is your genuine, like, I don't know, like just trying to see the good in other people and give other people the opportunity first. But I'm super excited to hear the new music, and I'm always excited when you have new stuff coming out. Man. I like when you send me just like little clips of stuff, and it always blows me out of the water what you come up with.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have anything you can share about the new album, the name of it or anything, or any inside details?
Well, before we go in there, I do want to share something. This morning, I was thinking about all of you this morning because I was at the Faithful Cities Community of Belonging leadership training, and Dr. Sang-hoon Yu is like such a blast. He is just like the love of God in like a little tiny human being, and he's just so full of love. And he kind of like quarantined some of the artists and creators in this separate room. He's got this grant with the Maricopa County Department of Health, I think, to do these leadership trainings, cultivating communities of belonging that are like acquainted with trauma-informed care. It's like a trauma-informed movement. And as we're kind of quarantined in this creative room, Erik calls me, and I'm like, man, like there's like an empty seat, like, and Hannah was possibly going to be there, and I'm thinking about, you know, Michelle and everybody, and I'm like, man, everybody deserves a seat at this table right now as we're talking about how can we use music and art as a way to energize healing, you know? And one thing that came to me was that we've all been given gifts, right? And gifts are meant to be given to the world, but not at the expense of our peace. And that's what so much of my journey has been, right? I humbly receive and acknowledge that there are certain gifts I've been given, but I've just been so consumed by the pursuit of like giving my gift to the world that at the end of the day, I was left on empty, you know? So I kind of want to flip the script and say, you know, that we're here to help artists and creators realize that you are so much more than the work that you do. You know, who you are is so much more important to me than what you can do for us. You know, like we want to encourage and uplift the inherent value that you have just as a being, as a vessel for light and love. But so much of my life was fixed and focused on the work, right? Like, what can I do for work? And it's important, but like, let's get first things first, you know? So the album is going to talk a little bit about that. I've got 2 working titles right now. One of them is called Bet on God.
Okay.
And it was inspired by this man that I sat with. He's a blind man. His eyes have been removed from his head. And he gave this pair of dice to a brother, a producer that I had gone to his house, and I picked up the dice and I started rolling the dice, like these dice, and they just say God on every side. And I tell you what, I must have rolled these dice like at least 100 times that day. I'm like, woo-wee, man, like I'm betting on God, you know? I bet on God and that saved my life, yeah. And we walk by faith and not by sight. Come on. I testify, can you testify with me? Ooh, yeah. Have you been delivered from the fire? Yeah. I had to let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. He's taking my desires, be gone. Oh, yeah, there's a lesson to be learned. Let him learn, let him learn. I'm giving up my childish ways. Though part of me's trying to stay. Let him go, let him go. No flesh will have a hold on me. Oh yeah, I've got to sing and praise. Thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. I rolled the dice. 1, 2. I bet on God and that saved my life, yeah. I'm giving up my childish ways, 'cause the things I thought I wanted, they just don't hit the same. So that was the first song that came after a season of not writing or recording or doing anything like that for like months. And part of me just thought that I was kind of done. Like I was like, all right, I guess I'm moving on. You know, I thought that I was here to be an artist and be a speaker and be a dreamer and do all these things, but I guess I just have to let that go because things aren't going the way that I thought they were supposed to go. And as soon as I just let it go and I was like willing to just let it go, that's when this new era of music that is bringing me deeper into connection with my true purpose is here, because I'm not trying to like control it or make it look one particular way. So Bet on God is possibly like one working title. And then the other title, which just feels so much more true, is just God's work. It's his work, you know? Like, it's not my plan, it's not my play, it's not my will, it's not my way, you know? It's his work. It's love, you know? How do we learn to love? Because love is not what I thought it was. I had my own measures and metrics of what I thought love was supposed to look like. And the more I learn about real love, you know, like the love that is patient, the love that is kind, the love that does not boast, the love that does not insist on its own way, you know, but the love that endures, the love that hopes, you know, the love that sustains. The more I realize that like my life is all for him, you know, like it's all for his work. So God's work just seems to be like every time I'm going into the studio to like, if someone's like, what are you working on? God's work. It's just God's work, you know, like it feels in alignment.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I'm so proud of the work that you've done on yourself and how far you've come in the short amount of time that I've known you.
Thank you.
And I don't think I know that you're a powerful instrument and catalyst, and your message is going to reach a lot of people. So keep doing your thing, man. Keep giving us music and sharing stories with us and sharing your wisdom. It was so fun. I got to hang out with you the day that you got those dice. I think it was the day, or maybe it was like shortly after. And everything that came up, you're like, I don't know. Let's roll the dice and see what they say. You know, roll the dice. Be like, oh, yep, God's the answer again.
Yeah, right. It's like every time.
Every time. Just keep rolling them. Oh, awesome. What about long-term goals? You got anything like longer term? I know you said you're kind of just like going where you're led right now, and you know, but any kind of like aspirations, longer term visions?
Yeah, long-term goals. You know, I'm seeing the importance of like safe and supportive housing, especially now that I'm working in a deeper, like more structured way in the reentry space right now with New Freedom. And I would like to get into real estate as well. You know, we've got one place, and I'm seeing that like the way that sober livings are run with structure and with values and with discipline and with programming and things like that, it really works, you know, like when you tap into a program and you commit yourself, like talk about a program. Shout out to my boys at Ideal. I can't wait to get you know, Ideal plugged in with the recovery and reentry space as well. But when you commit to a program and establishing new habits, you know, a lot changes. And I owe it to partially to these books, like that got me to a point where every day I was just using the books to deepen and grow in my relationship with God. So I would like to turn the house that we have into some sort of an actual sober house, you know. That's a longer term goal, is getting into real estate, having sober houses, having programs, establishing a studio, like a home base where people can come and explore, you know, what it means to heal through the arts and recovery, you know, that type of thing as well. But in this quarter, I'm really, really dialed in on time management and clinical compliance and production efficiency, which sounds like a bunch of jargon, like on the surface, but really, like, it's interesting walking, you know, in this reentry and recovery space, you know, with state-funded programs. Like, we want to take and translate the care that we provide to people and ensure that there's a way to get it funded, you know. So right now I'm learning a lot about, you know, what it means for something to be clinically compliant, you know, clinically viable. How can we develop programs that empower people, you know, to get their lives back on track, but also do it in a way where we're not just like waving a paintbrush. Like, we have the terminology that like is paired with that, you know, so that the state sees, okay, this is something that we need. This is something we can tie back to, you know, a client's treatment plan or something of that nature, because that's what the clinical team is looking at, is like, can we tie this back to a treatment plan? So my gears are turning on all these types of things. And I think going deeper into, you know, the recovery and reentry space and exploring how to make art and music like clinically viable is more of a long-term goal for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Tell us where to go. Like, where do you recommend people go to listen to your music or to get more of your story?
Yeah, you can go to formerlyintoxicated.com. You can go to soberhouserecords.com, blakematthewsmusic.com. I think all kind of funnel back into the music right now. And just yeah, like listen, just listen, you know, because my song is your song. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the same song, you know, like it's the song of hope, it's a song of peace, it's a song of love, it's a song of resilience, you know, like just sing, use your voice, you know. I was so just amazed to realize when I hit my hands and knees in that first song, Childish Ways, Bet on God came for the album, to see that scripturally, like, we're commanded to praise. Like, I think I freaked out and called Erik, like, when I realized that, you know, in these songs, there's all these corresponding scriptures to every line. And then in that last line, right before the chorus hits again, it says, I've got to sing in praise. And I'm going through seeing that there are so many times, like, in scripture where it says, like, we're commanded to use our voices. Our voices are weapons of warfare, you know? Like, if we're carrying weight, I'm going down another rabbit hole. He asks me questions, and then I, like, take the wheel and go a different direction with him.
It's okay.
But I guess, where can you listen to the music? Like, just you know, I want to encourage you guys to sing for yourselves, you know, like just reach out, psalm, you know, like use your voice and just keep going. Like, just don't give up. I know it's heavy sometimes. It really be like that. You know, sometimes it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes it be like that, but you know, he draws near to those who draw near to him, and we can use our voices to reach out and psalm in that way. So that wasn't a direct answer, but
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for all of the hard work that you do for Formerly Intoxicated, for New Freedom, for all of the programs and projects that you're involved in. We're really lucky that we have you here in Arizona, and excited to see more to come from Blake Mathews.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh, yeah. I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I rolled the dice. I bet on you and that changed my life.